What's going on guys, it's your boy Mr. Woz, and in today's video I'll be testing another moneymaker from the OSRS Wiki, and this time it's killing worms. Now according to the OSRS Wiki you can average around 4.1k GP per kill or 4.4k GP per kill if you're on a Slayer task. Now I'm doing this off task, so 4.1k GP is what I'm working with. The wiki doesn't tell me how many kills I can get per hour as well, so I'll have to see when I finish. Now there is some requirements in order to kill worms. First of all, you will need 62 Slayer in order to kill these, whether it's on Slayer task or not. Also having a prayer level of 37, as you will need to protect from magic. Partial completion of Fairy Tale Part 2 so you can unlock the fairy rings. Having 62 agility is handy, so you can use the 2 agility shortcuts to get to the dungeon if you don't have the Radar Blessing 3 or 4. And if you have completed the Karen and Kabos Elite diaries, you can wear any type of footwear. As without the diaries completed, you will need to wear the Boots of Stone, Boots of Brimstone or Granite boots to protect yourself from the heat of the dungeon floor, otherwise you will get hit constantly until you die. Now you can get the Boots of Stone from any Slayer Master for around 100 GP, something like that, and if you want to upgrade to the Boots of Brimstone then you will need a Drake's Claw, which you can buy in a Grand Exchange for around 850k. Use the claw on the boots to make the Boots of Brimstone, as they give boosted stats in attack and defense, so worth getting. Now these worms are level 99 with a max hit of 13, so you will need to have protection from magic on at all times, otherwise you will get hit often. I will also show you some tips and tricks a bit later on in the video. I would also suggest having at least 70 defense as well as 75 range, which is the method I'll be using today. Now the worms are located in the low level of Karlem Slayer dungeon in Mount Karlem, and there is a few ways of getting here. The fastest way is by using the Radar Blessing 3 or 4 to Mount Karlem, as it will take you right outside the dungeon entrance. The second fastest way is using the fairy ring code CIR and run up towards a volcano using the agility shortcuts. The next option is teleporting to the farming guild using a max cape or a skills necklace, and just run northeast and follow the path towards a fairy ring and continue upwards. Now for the gear setup I'm wearing is the best range gear I can, so full armadillo, max cape which acts as an Avers assembler, anguish, Bagasian boots, barrows gloves, archer's ring imbued, Radar Blessing 4 for the extra prayer bonus, and blowpipe with adamant darts. Now if you don't have the gear that I'm wearing, then not to worry, I'll show you a few alternative gear setups to help you out. So the downgrade from my setup will be full Blessed Dragonhide. It doesn't matter which one you choose. You can also switch out the Blessed D-Hide helm for an archer's helm if you want. You can also use Carol's top and bottom with archer's helm or full Carol's, it's entirely up to you. If you don't have an assembler then you can use an accumulator. If you don't have an anguish you can use a fury. If you haven't completed the Karen and Kabos Elite diaries you will need the Boots of Stone or Brimstone. Keep the barrows gloves, keep the archer's ring, try and get that imbued as well as it doubles your stats. If you don't have the Radar Blessing 4 then you can use any other blessing, and of course keep the blowpipe with adamant darts. So as you've noticed there is a few ways to gear up for worms. They are very easy to kill, so any gear setup will be fine. Now for my inventory I'm taking 1 ranging potion as well as 1 super restore. You won't need food as you're protecting from magic, but the worms do drop bass very often, so that helps you out. I do have a rune pouch filled with fire and nature runes to help various items that the worm drops, and I will go through the drop table in a minute. Now here are some tips and tricks when killing these worms. Now worms do have 2 attack styles, which is magic and melee, and if you stand next to the worm it will hit you with both attack styles. So as we are ranging we're going to stand a short distance away, so it will only hit me with magic. So that is why I mentioned to keep protection from magic on at all times. If you have the preserve prayer as well, that will help keep your stats lasting a lot longer. The next tip is if you have your auto retaliate off, the worms will need to be clicked twice for your player to start automatically attacking them. So the first click to make the worm leave its idle state, and once again to start attacking. I don't think it used to be like that back in the day, but there you go. The next tip is only for people who is on a Slayer task. You can actually safe spot the worm by trapping it on the eastern side of the second island, and you can lure the worm into the corner and trap it, allowing you to range them in a specific spot while staying at their magic attack range, which does save you prayer over time. I can't show you this spot as I'm not on a task, but I'll show you the exact tile you need to stand in. If you attempt this, let me know in the comment section below, and let me know if this safe spot still works, as I used to use it at times. So I've been here for half an hour and I've been banking often just because I'm looting everything off the ground, and if you have a Bonecrusher this will be really handy, as this will automatically crush the bones for you after every kill, as well as giving back some prayer points as well. So depending on which monster you're killing, you get different amount of prayer points per kill. So as I'm killing Wyrms, I will get 3 prayer points back per Bonecrusher, which is really good as it will lengthen your trips as well. Now as I have a max cape and the Rada blessing, the banking will be super fast as well as regenerating my stats in my POH. If you don't have a fast access to a bank etc, the best thing is using the Ring of Dueling to the Ferox Enclave, as there's 2 pools of refreshments so you can get your stats back as well as a close bank. Now I haven't had any decent drops so far from the Wyrms, so I'm going to go through some of the items that you can get from the Wyrms. So starting off is the bones, and you'll get them 100% of the time when you kill the Wyrms. Now here are the rare drops that you can get from the Wyrms, which are 1 in 10k drop rate or 1 in 2k drop rate if you're on a Slayer task. These include a Dragon Sword, Dragon Harpoon, which is a nice 600k if you get that, Dragon Knives, which range from 130k to 260k, and Dragon Throwing Axes, which are only 30 to 60k. When the Wyrms first came out, they were really high in price, and I used to be able to get 1 mil plus every time I got one of those as a drop. But anyway, let's move on to the next items. Here we have some adamant and rune items which you can out for some profit, as well as red D-eyed chaps, earth battle staff and dragon dagger. A small selection of runes here, but worth picking up as they are common drops. They drop a lot of herbs, but they are fairly high in drop rates, but if you see them on the floor, I'll definitely pick them up. They do drop a lot of seeds, but the only ones I'd pick up is the snapdragons and toadstools, as they are 50 to 60k each. Here are the miscellaneous items. So as you can see, you have the bash drop, which is only 1 in 10 drop rate, so if you are low on food for some reason, the Wyrms will help you out. The items from the rare drop table are worth picking up, such as the half keys, shield left half, dragon spear, and the rest you can leave on the floor as they're not worth anything. And the last 2 items, which is the brimstone key, which you can only get from a Konar Slayer task, and a hard clue scroll, which is 1 in 256. So I'm coming up to the hour mark now, and I'm really intrigued to seeing how much profit I've made and compare the loot with the OSRS Wiki. Okay guys, so here is all the loot that I got within the 1 hour of Wyrms, so let's price check everything. And I've made 637k now, that's not too bad. Now minus the supplies that I use for my blowpipe, as well as my potions and runes, which is around 200k, so the total profit is 437k. Now I did kill 146 Wyrms as well within the hour, so let's go back to the OSRS Wiki. Now it's saying 4.1k GP per kill, so let's divide 437k by 146, which is the amount of kills I got. So the GP per kill is 3k GP. Now that is if I minus all the supplies that I used, but if I went by the kills itself and how much GP I made without taking away the supplies, it will be 639k divided by 146, and that would be 4.3k GP per kill. Now I would say the OSRS Wiki is accurate. I didn't get any decent drops, so that doesn't help, but still pleased with the comparison. Now this isn't a bad money maker, but it's not great either, but for a low level monster I suppose you're not expecting anything great. Now also I did gain 65k range XP within the hour, which is nice. It would be a bit less if you're using a magic short bow or crossbow for example. So that is the end of the video guys. If you've enjoyed it, give this a massive thumbs up, comment and let me know what moneymaker you want me to test next, and subscribe to the channel if you are new and turn on those notifications. Until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.